All right, here we go. In three, two. It's Jacko on This Week in Sports. It's kind of a mixed feelings episode. Oilers are eliminated, but at the same time, the Riverhawks. Our season opener was also the same day. The Oilers got eliminated yesterday, at the time of recording this. So yeah, we'll get into the Oilers and we'll get into the Riverhawks, and the Jays took it to the Twins yesterday as well. But a lot of stuff going on for me personally, as far as doing the Riverhawks, helping the Riverhawks out. Edmonton Riverhawks, that's our baseball team down at Remax Field, downtown Edmonton. It was a great season opener. All in all, it went smoothly. We'll get into detail about that, but we were watching the Oilers game as we were doing our thing up in the booth, and yeah, I mean, fuck. We were up 4-2 in the third. They come back, they tie it. Colorado does, because they're a freaking crazy good team. Oh my god! And then they take a 5-4 lead. During all of this, we're trying to like put on a show at the Riverhawks, right? At the Remax. We're watching this kind of in the background. Colorado takes a 5-4 lead. We tie it up with like, I don't know, like 2 minutes left or something crazy. And we're like kind of losing it up in the booth. We're like, yes, there's a chance. And then it goes to overtime. Sure enough, the Avalanche win it 6-5 in OT. It was early in OT. I was hoping that we'd be able to, the OT would kind of last so I could at least watch the end of it, because we were getting down to the end of the baseball game and it was going to overtime, and I was like, okay, maybe we'll have a chance to like actually watch it. No, that chance didn't happen. Colorado beat us in overtime. They took the series 4-0, swept us in our own building. I did not think that was going to happen. Fuck. I should have started with the fucking Riverhawks, man. So yeah, I didn't expect us to lose. I thought we were gonna win game 2. I thought we were gonna take the split there. We couldn't even score on their fucking backup in game 2. Game 3, I went down to the mosh pit. I was hype. I was hyping up the crowd. I had the flag. I was doing everything I needed to do to hype up the crowd. And the crowd was hyped. The crowd was packed. I was there with my boy Corey. Shout out to Corey from high school, Corey Webb. Well, I'll use his last name. I don't give a fuck. That's my boy. Seen him there coincidentally. We weren't even trying to meet up, and he was there. So we hung out while we were down there. And yeah, people were loving it. Like I was handing the flag to people because my arms were getting tired at some point. So I'm like, hey, you take it up for a bit, wave it around, right? And we were like in front of the stage where they did the performance. I think it was the TWIS up on the stage before the game. We were hyping up the crowd. I was convinced we were gonna win game 3. I was sold on it. I was like, we're not fucking losing 3 in a row. But we did. We had a backbreaker in the third period there. We were tied 2-2. Had a backbreaker when Colorado scored, and I think they scored an empty net as well. And it was so saddening after game 3. The only saving grace, and the only like there was some positives to it, like just hyping up the crowd and having fun. And at the end, NHL on TNT crew actually had a stage set up downtown. But I get like they're the Americans, man. They don't get it. They had such a good opportunity to have the TNT crew out there the whole game. They just brought them out after the game, after the Oilers lost. However, there were still so many Oilers fans still there because we were Wayne Gretzky was part of that panel, and Biz Nasty with his new haircut. They shaved like the top of his head, the Peter Mansbridge haircut they're calling it. And I think Anson Carter was there, and not Dave Tippett, Rick Tocchet was also part of the panel, and their host. I can't remember his name, but Gretzky was there, and everyone was like chanting Gretzky. That was like the highlight of the night for me. It was like everyone there chanting Gretzky, 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 and I kept yelling at him like, hey Wayne, you're the man, Wayne Gretzky, you own the city, Mister Gretzky. Just hyping him up, right? Because he is the man. He does own the city. he is the ultimate hockey player. And yeah, I know. I just think it was a missed opportunity for TNT to really get a grasp of how crazy the moss pit was during that game. Because if they were set up during the intermission and all that, they would see. I unfortunately in Canada we can't get that feed from TNT. That's the American feed, and CBC just pollutes all the airways with their feed. And they're good too, but I mean the way the Americans do it, I love the way Americans broadcast TV. They have so much more experience and more money, obviously. And the guys for CBC are good, but they're all the way in Toronto. The TNT guys were here in Edmonton, so I wish there was a way that I could have watched some of those highlights. Actually, the next day, Corey sent me a quick video from Twitter or whatever of the TNT broadcast. You can actually see me in the background waving the flag after the game there. And I was thinking like, that's kind of, for all the American fans down there, they probably think we're all idiots, all these Oilers fans chanting after losing and going down 3-0. But we're passionate and we're all for Gretzky. And that's why I was back there waving the flag, because it's like, it's for Wayne. We lost, but still, we're still proud of the Oilers. And I'm proud of the Oilers. I mean, we got swept 4-0, but that's a better team, Colorado. They clearly were. They clearly are. And like I said at the beginning of the series, if we beat Colorado, we're going to win the cup. That's what my dad said, and I believed it, because they are that good of a team, and they proved it. So congratulations to the Colorado Avalanche advancing to the Stanley Cup final. It's unfortunate that we had to be the victims to them. But with that said, I am super, super proud of the season that the Oilers had. I'm super excited for the next year, coming years here, the next few years. We have to sign Kane, but that's beyond the point. We had a tremendous season. We made it to the Western Conference Final for only the second time in my lifetime. So that was awesome. This is the first time we've lost in the Western Conference Final, I think, since the 80s. I believe so. Yeah. Yeah, because we never really had a team to make it that far in the 90s, other than the 1990 Stanley Cup winning team. So we made it further than we ever have in my lifetime. I mean, just the last time we made it, we went to the Stanley Cup final, but like that was crazy. Like we were the underdogs, and that was like a Cinderella story. So I'm super proud of this, and I can only see us getting better from here. And everyone knows, not just in hockey but in all the sports, you have to learn how to lose before you learn how to win. And the experience we gained from this, from getting beaten like that by a superior team, because last year when we got swept by the Jets, they were not the better. They weren't way superior to us like the Colorado Avalanche were. They were like almost like as good. We were almost better than Winnipeg, or just as good. 3 of those games went to overtime, so that could have went either way. But that's beyond the point. Point is, we had a terrific season. And I'm so proud of the Edmonton Oilers, and I'm so fucking proud to be an Edmonton Oilers fan. The headphones plugged in right now. But yeah, so I was watching Game 4 last night in the booth at Remax Field with the most beautiful view of the River Valley up in that booth. It's tremendous. And it was mixed feelings, because not only did we lose, but the Riverhawks, it was crazy fucking game. The Riverhawks, we were down 7-0 to start the game. Okay, and then we're watching the Oilers lose, and it was like, oh fuck, this is shitty. But all in all, if we're talking about the game, the baseball game specifically, it turned out to be an amazing game. The Hawks come back to win it 10-9, driven by a 3-run home run by I'll get to know these guys' names a little better, but this is the first game, and this is the first time I've seen their names. One of these big guys from the States. This guy has 3. He's leading the WCL, the West Coast League, in home runs already. He's got like 3 or 4 in, what is it, 7 games. He hit a dinger deep to left field. I went like 408 feet, bro. It was smashed. And we were like, oh my God, look at that thing go. There was actually 2 home runs. We were playing the Portland Pickles, and one of them was hit by them early in the game, and then one of them was hit by one of our players later in the game. 3-run home run to make it close. And then in the 9th inning, holy shit, we had the bases loaded. We were down by, I think, 2 going into the 9th. Or no, we were down 2 going into the 8th. We got 1 in the 8th. So it was 9-8. And then in the 9th inning, we tied up. We got a bunch of base runners. It was raining the whole day yesterday, too, by the way. It was raining, so the field was slippery. There was some air. One of the left fielders for the Pickles slipped on one of the fly balls, so we took advantage of that. There was a couple of passed balls by the pitchers because, or I guess by the catchers, or no, wild pitchers, I guess you'd call them if they're by the pitchers. If it was the catchers, pass balls, because it was so wet. And there was a couple bats getting fucking flown, like people losing their bats and just flying. And it actually happened to one of the Pickles like twice in one at bat, and we're like, "Oh shit!" Almost hit a kid. Almost hit one of the bat boys there. Yeah, like the bat boy had to like jump out of the way. I almost hit him. So it was slippery. It was wet, and ultimately we tied the game in the 9th. We had the bases loaded. They intentionally walked our hitter that hit the home run earlier in the game, which couldn't believe. Or no, they intentionally walked the batter before that to get to that hitter. I couldn't believe it. I was like, "What are you guys doing?" And then to win it in the 9th, the bottom of the 9th, walk off run. It was a passed ball of all things. The bases were loaded. The pitcher throws the ball. It gets past the catcher. Running home. He's running home. He's safe. The place blows up. Everyone's screaming. I turn on the music because I was doing the music last night. I cranked the tunes. Everyone's losing it. The whole team, all the Hawks run out to the field, have a celebration. Oh my God, we were discussing in the booth. Okay, what do we play if we win? What do we play if we lose? Right? What songs do we play? And I got to get a better one. But I had "Win" by J-Rock, but I need a better one than that for because it doesn't just right off the hop just doesn't hit. Right? It takes a little bit to hit. But also, I couldn't even hear it. There was like the fans were going crazy. And believe it or not, considering it was raining, considering the Oilers were playing, we had a pretty decent crowd. I would say there's probably like 1,000 people there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. And they were all like underneath not all of them, but most of them were underneath the freaking roof where it's kind of roofed off there and the back of the stands. So it was actually a really good turnout, way better of a turnout than I thought it was going to be. And the production side, our side of it, went way smoother than I thought it was going to, considering it was our first game. And it went super well. We started the game off with Indigenous ceremony. Introducing the Hawks and everything, and the land that we were on. And I was fortunate enough, they let me read a story about the land and the community and welcoming the Hawks. And it went off. It went super, super well. I I got to sing the 7th inning stretch. I had the mic. They had the camera on me. Did it like they do it at Wrigley Field. Just hyped up the crowd. All in all, it was a tremendous, tremendous experience. The main PA announcer, Dave Mitchell, I was trying to like think of where I knew him from and where I knew the name from, because it was like, this guy's familiar, right? He's really good. He's tremendous. I can't wait to work with him throughout the season and learn so much from him. And then at the end of the night, I'm like, oh, I see he's wearing a CTV jacket. I'm like, that's where I know him from. CTV. And so yeah, I can't wait to work with Dave and the video production dude, Aaron. He's tremendous too. Man, it felt like almost like a freaking Hollywood production in there, Caleb. They had the headsets going, talking to the cameraman on the field,
nice.
and Adrian down there doing the interviews.
Oh, they got like cameramen now too.
Yeah, well, they got one cameraman, and then they got the 3 or 4 cameras that are like automatic around the field, and then they have the one cameraman that's mobile with the in-game host Adrian South, and the communication between the booth and down there was just constant, and the communication between the video guy, the announcer, and me was constant. right? As far as the music, the announcing, the video
That's
feed,
sick.
it was crazy, bro. It was like it was completely. It was such a moving machine constantly, and we were able to pull it off quite well. And for our first game, holy shit, I was actually quite impressed, not only by how smooth it went, um, and how easy it felt, and how much we got in a groove, but also by like the turnout. Considering, like I said, it was like raining and everything. Like people had their umbrellas, and it was I cannot today is going to be more people. Like now that the Oilers are out, unfortunately, it's fortunate for us because we'll be able to gain a bigger crowd. And baseball's back here in Edmonton, and I cannot wait to for the rest of the season. I can't wait for today because I'm going down there back today, and oh my god, it's gonna be so much fun working with these people. These people are great that I work with, and I'm gonna learn so much. I learned so much just yesterday, being next to Dave. So can't wait for that. Can't wait for the rest of the season. Like I said, this episode's kind of just mixed feelings because yeah, it was so hype at the end of the night last night. When the Riverhawks came back to win and walk it off, it really really softened the blow of the Oilers losing. Because if I wasn't down there and I wasn't doing the Riverhawks and I just watched the Oilers lose, I don't know if I'd be recording right now. I don't know how this would sound right now. You know what I mean? Like, so shout out to the Riverhawks, and yeah, if any of you listeners want to come down to Remax Field at any point this summer, check the schedule on, I think it's gohawks.ca, or just follow us on social media, Edmonton Riverhawks. We'll get the schedule there. We have game today, game tomorrow, 3 games this weekend. Speaking of this weekend, Friday, Caleb, we're having fireworks downtown at Remax.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fireworks.
Sick.
Yeah, so maybe come down for that.
Like after a game.
After the game, yeah. So yeah. If you can make it out, then make it out whenever you can. But yeah, fireworks this Friday. We have a bunch of promotions going on this homestand. So we have 5 more games on this homestand. Then we go out of town for a bit, and then we come back at the end of the month. And then next month, Caleb, we have I think it was like 20 home games or something like that, like 18 home games. We only have 6 road games next month. So July's going to be full of baseball, and I'm so freaking stoked because that's going to be just the experience I'm going to gain and the fun that I'm going to have. It's going to be irreplaceable. But also next month too, I got Super Series Indian Relay on July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, the long weekend there. So I'm going to be away from the Riverhawks. They already know that because I already committed to Indian Relay like months ago. So I'm excited for that too because Indian Relay Super Series is going to be at the what do they call it? It's like an Indian rodeo or just like a rodeo near Rocky Mountain House. It's huge. They do it every year, every Canada Day, and it's freaking huge. It's like a whole event. More than just the weekend. I think it's also takes place on like the Thursday, Friday. It's a huge event. There's gonna be so many people there, and I'm so glad I'm able to get this experience before that, and the experience that I had a couple weeks ago with our first event with Super Series is going to calm my nerves for this upcoming one because I think there's going to be way more people there, and we're going to be streaming it through YouTube again, hopefully, and just it's going to be a lot more pressure, but I'm going to be able to handle it a little better than I did the last one because the last one was my first, and it's just going to get better and better from here. So that was my personal this week in sports. How it went for me. It was more like this past day in sports, for fuck's sakes. Other news before we get to this TWIS, we'll call it, or we've been calling it. Yeah, the Blue Jays 8-0. Yeah, over the Royals last night. Just took it to them. I couldn't watch it. Like obviously, I couldn't watch it. There's so much shit going on. But I seen that score. I'm like, whoa, fucking A, boys. So they took it to the Royals. I think they play again tonight. I just seen all these freaking things. Oh, the reason why it went so late, they were delayed due to rain. And it's funny because we were raining down at Remax too, and we were wondering like before the game, like, are they gonna Are they going to postpone this? Are they going to rain delay this? What are they going to do, right? And the game went off. They were able to do it because there's such a good drainage system in that field, apparently. So there was only one or two slips by the fielder, and just a couple bats getting tossed around. Bergeron wins his 5th Selke Trophy, and that means the NHL's top defensive forward. He's one of the best. Bergeron, he made it to the Olympics how many times? And frick, if we were at the Olympics this year, then he would have been there. The Jets' Kyle Connor captures the Lady Byng Trophy. I think that's the sportsmanship one. Darnell Nurse. He was playing with a torn hip flexor during the playoffs. What a soldier. Fucking, he was taking people out still, too. My God. Oh, my God. There's some news in golf, but I don't... The golfers are going to another, like, type of league or something. Tiger Woods he's back. He's telling people where he's saying he's not gonna participate in the U.S. Open, but he hopes to play in the Open Championship next month. I love that. I heard he turned down like a high 9-figure deal to stay with the PGA or some shit, because there's this Live Golf Invitational Series that I don't know what it's about, but Phil Mickelson's going to that. He's only 51. I thought he was like older than that. Yeah. We'll just go to TWIS and end my misery here. No, it's all good. Okay, and oh, that's not worth noting. Let me see. Let's see what's worth noting here on this particular day. No one cares about that. Okay, this is good. This is a good way to end it. Speaking of Wayne Gretzky earlier, on this day in sports history, on this week in sports history, TWIS, what do we got here? June 7th, 1989. So that is 33 years ago, right? Wayne Gretzky wins his 9th Hart Trophy in 10 years. Whew. Oh, that'll never be touched. I don't give a fuck. Well, actually, Connor might be able to do it, but that means you have to stay healthy for 9 out of 10 years. That means you got to be the best player 9 out of 10 years. And in 1989, Gretzky landed his 9th in 10 years. So shout out Wayne. Give him Gretzky. But yeah, this has been This Week in Sports. Appreciate y'all listening. And
Go Jays.
Go Jays, yeah. No, we'll do another. I think we'll do another episode before the Stanley Cup Finals begin, so I can do my predictions on the finals. Because I'll watch the finals. I'll watch the rest of the Eastern Conference Final. Well, maybe not tonight, but because I just got to get away for hockey for a little bit. But I'll watch the Stanley Cup Final, and we'll record an episode, get my predictions of that. Because for the most part, my predictions have been pretty tight. That New York Tampa series is freaking crazy. I think that's a 2-1. I think last time I checked. Let me double check that here before I sign off here. I know New York won the first 2 games. Yeah, it's 2-1, and they play tonight. So yeah, like I said, I thought Tampa was going to win that and advance to the Stanley Cup Final. But if the Rangers do, I won't be surprised. But if the Rangers do it, I think it's going to take like 6 or 7 games. But yeah, go Jays, go Riverhawks. I guess go Elks. I think they're starting up too. And thank you to the Edmonton Oilers for putting up a good season and putting up a hell of a playoff run. Can't wait for next year. But yeah, this has been This Week in Sports. Check y'all next time.